Ah, shit. Oh, here we go. What's going on? It's Brock. It's Hunter with the Plan B After Show podcast. What's
Good
up?
to go. Here we go, man.
Did you get a fresh haircut? Is that why you're not wearing a hat today?
Yeah. Does it look all right?
A little thin in the back, but
What?
I said a little thin in the back, but it's all right.
Shut up. Yeah, dude, I got it. It's
No, it looks good. You look handsome.
high and tight, man.
I need to get mine cut. I've been waiting and waiting.
Oh, jeez, dude. You know what? You got nice hair. You're blessed with a nice head of hair. So
yeah. But I still need to get it cut though. I haven't had it cut since my baby was born, so it's been like almost 3 months. And yeah, got all pampered up for that. But now it's just at that weird stage where it doesn't look good other than in a hat. So
yeah.
Right.
Haircuts are crazy, man. It's barbershops are awesome. It's a place where guys still hang. Jesus, what a farley. It's a place where guys hang out. They catch up. They get to talk about their wives. They get to it's kind of like the sanctuary for dudes to chill out and vent.
The nail salon for men.
There you go. That's a good analogy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I said it, idiot. Let's do fact and opinion. We'll get out of here. How about this one? Well, hold on, let me go back real quick. I'm going to go back to yesterday's page because there were some really good ones on that one, but I do have some good ones here. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. Okay, we'll go back. Now I got to go back. I was ready, but now I'm not ready. So let's go back to today.
You're never ready. Let's just.
Well, you don't got to point it out. There's only 2 U.S. states where it's legal to own the ocean, or more specifically, the beach below the high tide line.
It's God's water, man. It's God's water, man.
What if a girl breaks her ankle on your beach? She can sue me. Sue me.
Super Troopers.
Private citizens in Massachusetts and Maine can own land all the way to the low tide line, allowing them to block the public from the area between the high and low tide lines. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
I think that's fucking trash. I think that's fucking trash. Do you know what? That's constantly changing. It's
always changing.
And I think that's bullshit. I think you can own to the water line and that's it. Wherever the high tide line, anything like even the beach. I mean, I get it. And I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, you can't own land like that. I'm like, hey,
private beach, keep walking.
Yeah. Dude, there's some spots along our beach here along the coast where you're like walking and then it's like, oh, no, can't go here. It's private beach.
Private.
You know what? That's why I want a nice big boat because I want to park it right in front of their fucking
and leave it.
And just every day just be like, oh yeah, hey.
There are weird questions like that around because we live all around all types of water, man. And I've always wondered that. So there's a stretch of beach in between Silver and Lions Beach. You got your 2nd Street. It's kind of private. The houses, it's the beach behind the houses there if you're driving to Lions. And I'm like, do you guys own? So do they own the up to the water? Do they own the beach, the sand, or what is that like?
I could see owning part of the beach, right? Like that makes sense. That land, and I get that land goes underwater, but I think where the water is, though, it's like because then
where does it stop? Where does it cut off?
Stop exactly. Yeah, where does I know they say high tide and low tide, but okay, why not? Can't we extend it down? Why not? Why just take it all the way down to the center? I don't know.
Property's weird, dude. Another weird thing, like with the drones, flying drones around, like my number one concern was, hey, where are the restrictions? Where can I not fly this at? And I'm like, over people's houses? Is that okay? Because you would think right off the bat, like, hey, you're flying in people's private airspaces. But dude, you can fly anywhere you want.
Yeah, it's
as soon as it touches the ground on somebody's property, they can shoot that thing.
Yeah.
But if it's in the air and they shoot it, they can get in trouble.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. But then too, like how high up do we don't get angry when planes are flying above us and we don't, you know what I mean? So like, where does it go up? Is it just like my property line and straight up to like the top of my house? Right. Does it keep going into space? Like where's that line at?
As of now, the law is if it's not touching the ground, you can float above people's yards, houses, picnics. Dude, I mean, it's kind of creepy if you're doing that. But
if you fly anywhere near mine, I'm shotgun blasting.
Good luck. That thing is quick.
I'm gonna get you, snipe you out of there. It is funny bringing this up because I remember one time, and maybe I don't think I'm in the wrong here, but there is a law in a lot of places, most places with rivers, especially fishing rivers. And in Michigan, for example, I can walk through any river Okay, I can wade through any river. And if I absolutely need to, within reason, I can get onto land on either side of that bank if there's an obstruction in the river. So they have this because major rivers run through people's property. So what they're saying is that, let's say I'm fishing St. Joe. Nah, it's too big of a river. Let's say I'm fishing the Manistee, the Little Manistee. Okay. And it runs through someone's property who owns it on both sides, right? So the river runs through their property. I can walk through that river all the way through their property. And if I need to, for some reason, there's obstruction that I can't get over, I can go on the bank within reason and then get back in the water and keep going.
Right.
So I was fishing a stream down here, down in the Southwest. I found it. And dude, I got to this bridge and I look over and I see trout rising. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Nice. So I, get my waders on and I get down, and this is a legal stream for me to fish. And I'm starting to fish this one spot and I'm like, shit, like I can really see the fish rising over there. And it was behind someone's house. But I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. Law states that I can do that. I can walk through. So
they were having it, were they?
Well, there was a bridge. There was a bridge in the way, and the bridge said no fishing. And I was like, okay, no fishing from the bridge, obviously, because I'm sitting there, I'm fishing, yada, yada, yada. Right. And then finally I'm like, okay, well, I still want to ask the guy if I can go through his yard to get in at that point, because there was no good way to get to it otherwise. So I knock on the door and this old guy answers, and I'm like, hey, would you mind? I'm sorry. Could I just walk? I'll just walk real quick right through and get in the river, and then I'm just going to wade through. He's like, no, actually, there's no fishing over here. And I said, what? There's a stream. And then he goes, well, I could show you the paperwork. I actually own to the middle and on the other side. And instead of arguing with this old guy and getting and I was kind of pissed off. And I'm not saying like it's tough, because I'm a firm believer in, like, that's my fucking property. Stay off my property.
Yeah, for sure.
Why was this old son of a bitch? Like, did most people just, I wish I would have been like, yeah, I'd actually like to see that paperwork. I'd like to see it, because
actually
maybe he just says that, and then people are like, oh, okay, fine, I don't want to do it. Maybe this old fucker's grandfathered in. So
what probably happened is somebody ruined it back in the day for everybody else trying to get through there, and now he's just like, hell with it. I'm just going to tell people no fishing. I'm going to tell
people, and if they say okay, to be like, well, okay, I'll go get the paper. Most people won't do that, though. Most people, all right, fine. But no, I need to find. I can't even remember that place was.
Especially fishing too. Fishing's like a weird thing in that aspect, as far as like people being real secretive about their spots and not wanting people to fish in certain spots, and like people get sensitive around that. Man, it's weird. And you did the right thing. You could have just walked through.
Yeah.
At least you went up and asked the guy.
Yeah.
If I was the owner of the house and the property, like, well, this guy had was courtesy enough to come up and ask. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just don't tell your friends,
Exactly. Maybe do that. Be like, look, man, I don't want to have this place overrun with people. And I get it. I understand, like, because it wasn't a huge stream. And if you had 4 or 5 people there right in your backyard, it might ruin it. But that's also not your call to make. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if it's legal for me to do that, well, then, all right, buddy boy. And I know there's certain restrictions and everything, but yeah, that old guy kind of pissed me off. I should have been like, you know what, old man, call the DNR. I'm going out there.
You're going out there. You know what you do? You go just get a stringer of fish and you walk back through his yard, dude, and wave at him.
I don't know. It's just weird. Will we ever have an answer on is it God's water? I think it's God's water.
I think it's God's water, man.
You can't own the water. That's God's water.
Because if you could own the water, there's a lot of property to be sold.
Dude, well, and what would happen is that big corporations would buy up massive amounts of oceans and everything. They're already fucking ruining it. Nestle and all those, they're already polluting it constantly. Now we could say you could buy it. They're like, oh, fuck it. We're going to, this shit is ruined, man. We're done. We're done. Man. Anyway. All right. That was kind of an interesting fact for today.
Yeah, not bad.
That's going to do it for Brock and Hunter here on the After Show podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you back here next time with another fact and opinion on WI.